I would like to welcome you to this webinar. Thank you for joining. This webinar is part of the LERU, which is the League of European Research Universities online conferences. More specifically, the online conference is arranged by LERU's, the Digital Education Thematic Group. And the conference runs through the whole month of November. Sorry. And during this month, we'll focus on different subjects. Here we are talking about video in this line of webinars, but there's also academic development, there's collaborative research, digital education in action, e-assessment, and e-certification. So the conference is open for everyone, and that is both for teachers, for researchers in digital education, academic staff, developers, or supporting ICT staff. So you are also welcome to invite your colleagues at your institutions today or maybe next week, because this is the first out of 3. During the online conference we have, you already noticed that, a series of webinars related to video and media subjects. And the idea is that your colleagues will share their experiences and best practices. It is more like an experience series of workshops more than a theoretical research kind of thing. So in this way, you get the insights in how universities are changing education and gaining success with the various digital approaches in blended and online education. So that was the frames. Today we're going to have 3 presentations. The first one is by myself. I didn't choose the order, but so I will be starting and talk about the use of screencasts in giving feedback to students' written assignments. After me comes Stephan Kulla from Ludwig University München, and he will talk about some experience, how he and his colleagues built a nationwide project which aims to produce educational videos about mathematics. And then the third presentation is by my colleague here at University of Copenhagen, Susanne Rosthøj, and she will show us how to use video screencasts, recorded videos in her teaching in many different ways. So that is the program of today. And I think I will start to share my first presentation, which I do. We're not doing this every day, so bear with me if things goes a little bit slower than it could. But so I have shared my presentation now, and I think it's coming up. Can you tell me, Susanne, when you see it? It's a little bit late. When I show something, it takes, you know, some seconds, and then it's up here. So it's visible, yes. I would introduce you to some experiences with making screencasts for feedback to student assignments. And this is a way I believe you can save time, at the same time improve the quality of giving feedback. As it says here, my name is Henrik Bregnhøj. I'm an e-learning consultant at the University of Copenhagen, and I work with many different types of e-learning. Before that, I was actually I was teaching water supply and sanitation in developing countries, and the case I will show is also from the times when I was teaching that until a couple of years ago. Feedback is, as you probably heard, it's something that we talk a lot about these years. Feedback is considered very important in learning. Because when you give feedback to someone, then you're answering to what that person has just told. That means if he's telling what he knows about this particular subject, you're also giving feedback just at the edge of what that person knows. So feedback is something that is considered extremely effective for learning, a very effective learning way of learning. So here at the University of Copenhagen, where I work, we produced some videos recently, which you are welcome to see at this link, which is in the bottom of this page here. These are the titles, and it's sort of also an example of a list of ways you can give feedback. Cluster feedback is from students and the teacher in a specific way. Peer feedback is something that we really think is important, where students are giving feedback to students, and in a way that is a kind of a double learning experience, where when you give the feedback, you start thinking about the report you made yourself. So you're starting to recapture what was actually the thing that you should learn in this. So it's something that is very good for the learning. And then there's some other ways of giving feedback. So the feedback can be from the teacher, it can be from the students, and it can be formative, but we're talking mostly about formative feedback, but it can also be summative. So it's used to give you a mark or something like that. There was a paper I read, which I think very much summarizes some of the things that have been said about, have been experienced by students. Students who had gotten feedback from screencast, what I will tell you about just in a moment. I'll show you some example. They have been experiencing that their math teacher was giving feedback to their exercises through a screencast. That means they speak while showing things on the screen. So it is something which they perceive is more personal compared to if the student, the teacher would be talking to all the class or writing things here. They say it provides a richer experience than handwritten comments, that they get more information simply than what they get from reading some handwritten things. They are glad it can be accessed anytime and replayed, and so they can hear it. Sometimes you tend to forget what you hear if you only hear it. And then it assists with learning how to communicate mathematics. It helps to develop mathematics thinking skills, because you hear the language again, what you have written in your exercise. Now it's pronounced, say, in a way from the teacher. So you're learning the language better here. Good. I would like to show you an example, and the example is from the course. Yeah. No, not yet. It's a course that I've been teaching for about 20 years in another university than where I am right now. In that course, environmental engineering in developing countries, we had typically about 12 groups, sometimes more, sometimes less, and they would, in a 3 weeks period, intense period, deliver 2 reports. The first one after 2 weeks, and the second one in the end of the course. And that first report they delivered after 2 weeks were delivered on a Friday, and we had to give feedback over the weekend so they could use that feedback in the next week. And the feedback we gave them were, in the first many years, written comments in the reports, and then we would be sitting with them explaining that. That took a long time. It took typically half an hour, but sometimes we got very much, caught by it. So we would spend 1 hour because it became very long, that feedback, and sometimes it would take more than a day to give feedback. If we were 2 people, had to give feedback to 6 groups at the same time, lecturing and so on. So it took a long time. So in the last year, we started to make a screencast with the most relevant comments. And I would like to show you one example of that. And if you can, Susanna here can help me to copy. If you turn on the chat right now. If you move your mouse, you will see there's a chat sign in the top, and there's a link. So I'll give you now about 2 minutes to see that link, and then I'll get back to you and start talking again. So you can browse a bit back and forth to see what it's like. Then I'll talk to you about it after that. Okay? Okay, I think that was about 2 minutes. So I will get, see if you can jump back to this presentation again. Probably with Command Tab or Alt Tab or whatever computer you have. This recording was made with a screencast tool, which is in this case it was ScreencastOmatic. This is a free tool, so I'm not earning any money on saying that. Camtasia is another option where you can record what goes on your screen while speaking at the same time. So as you could see, I had written some comments in the report before this, and then I had picked out a few places where I thought would be relevant to elaborate on this. I had also made a summary sheet which I referred to in the beginning to give people a bit more feedback about this. So this is what it looks like when you use the ScreencastOmatic tool here to record. So this was within a field of environmental science, you could say. Here's another example. I'm not showing this, but this is one of my colleagues from the humanities. She's teaching Greek language, and she's doing the same, was doing the same for many years, where she marked things. This is a small delivery from the students that had translated something from Old Greek, and then she had marked it, and then she would be talking like this, referring to her marks here. So it can be used in many areas here. And I would say the advantages of screencast feedback here as a summary of this is that it improves both the quality and the quantity, because it took the screencast you saw was about 5 minutes long, and it has taken me 10 minutes to make. Before that, I would have to prepare, but I did that actually when writing the comments that I would do anyway. I would mark what to talk about, what to refer to when I was speaking. But it doesn't take much more than the time, 5 minutes. Would have taken me a long time to write all this. So that's what I mean that you can give more quantity, you can give more information, and the quality is also improving because you are spending, say, more time. You're giving more words to the students here. So it gives me more time for other activities. As I said, I didn't have to use 1 hour with this group of people. Instead, I used only 5 or 10 minutes, so I could, and they were happy for that. They thought that's fine. Combination of written and It is also a flexibility in time and place where the students, in other cases, they would be delivering and you would call them maybe for a meeting at a specific place, specific time, which everybody would have to fit into. Here they can just hear it whenever they want. And then this screencast technique recording could also be used in peer feedback, where the students will give each other feedback. And yeah, as I said from the beginning, I think in summary, it's improving the learning at the edge of your knowledge, because you're commenting on something which is you could say the report, if it reflected the level of them. The challenges in doing this in a bigger scale, because now I'm an e-learning consultant, I'm trying to help my colleagues here at the health faculty at University of Copenhagen with a lot of e-learning things, but this is one of them I'm trying to promote. And I would say the challenge of doing this is that they need to know exactly what to mention. So they have to prepare and so on. And they need sometimes maybe to practice, because it's a new way of working and takes a bit of practice to use the screencast-o-matic and to put your words right. As you could hear, I'm not very experienced. I say a lot of and and so on. So the last one is maybe the worst, the biggest challenge. The teachers need to change their habits. I think a lot of teachers, when I talk to them, they say this is excellent, but they don't do it anyway. So that is probably it. Good. That's what I wanted to say. So I will get back to you here. And there's already a question here. I should say about the practicalities here in this, you are able to put your microphone on. Please mute it, keep it muted all the time, except for when you want to say something. If more microphones are on at the same time, we may get a lot of noise here. But you can also do as Yolanda and Kevin here is doing, writing in the chat line here. So I'll take a look at that here. So the question from Yolanda is that students receive the feedback from you. Is there a moment where the groups can discuss this with you? Yes, I would say they could also always in that case call me for clarification and this, and they probably also did. I mean, they sometimes had a question about the feedback, both the written and it was only the last year I did this, so I think they did. But that would be not all, definitely not all of them. Let's say I do this for 6, and then I would say maybe one of them would call me for clarification. So that was not a big deal. It was a help that this sort of sorted things out. They were quite happy with it. Kevin and Catherine is asking here, do any virtual learning environment have video feedback built in as a plugin? I heard about that, yes. But if you ask me which software do you need for that, I can't remember right now. I'm just using the this free software, which is on the. Yolanda is saying in Canvas you can add speech and media elements. I should use that. I should know that, because I am also we also have Canvas here at our university. This is true. This is true. There is actually the speed grader. In the speed grader, everybody use it like writing things, but it's true. There is actually a microphone where you can add, you can speak things in. I haven't tried that in practice, but that is a good option. I'll try to put some more, I'll try to mention that to some of the teachers. It's true, I have seen it. Blackboard has it too. It may be added in the Grade Center, yeah. Okay, and it's not released in EU region in Blackboard yet. Okay. Any other? And it's learning here. Please don't forget that we have set up a separate workspace for your questions. This is Armin. so we can continue our discussion after the live session. Okay, Armin, I should have presented Armin. Armin should be the host today, and he is now writing some of the things that he's was going to say, because his voice is lacking today. So we can go to this Slack place afterwards if you have more questions. Thank you for that, Armin. So I think we will stop this topic and move to Stephan instead. And Stephan Kulla, I will just give the word to you. So I will turn off my mic, and you can turn on your mic, and then you can start sharing your presentation. This is how it works. Okay. Yes?
So, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I see. Hello in the chat. Also, hello to you guys on YouTube. Let me start my presentation. Today we are going to talk about building an online community with video. Okay, I hope you can see the presentation right now. I'm here in Munich, part of a bigger organization which help creating free knowledge, free educational resources. And what we are doing, I'm actually more concerned with higher education, especially in the field of mathematics. And let's start why we are doing this. Actually, here in Germany, when we look at the numbers, we can see that half the students who start study in mathematics don't finish their study until the end of their bachelor studies. And it gets worse. 40% of students drop out in the first year. So you can see that the first year is really critical for the students. It's a high step from the school to the university. And what we are doing is we have a special approach. It's called the genetic approach to teach mathematics. And for this, video is a great opportunity. And for those of you who do not have studied mathematics or do not know what this kind of tool is, I would really dive in and give you a short, let's say, sketch of this, what we are doing. Here, as you can see, it's a screenshot of a textbook. It's quite a normal textbook what students would use in their first semester. And I will give you some time to read the text. Good. As you can see, when I ask you whether you have understood complex numbers very well, I guess most of you would say, okay, it's hard. It's hard. It's a really new topic, and it's hard to see what are complex numbers. And especially if I would ask you, okay, what are really complex numbers, and whether you can go to a normal person and explain to them what are they. And I want to demonstrate how we are talking about this topic. Because what you can see here is normally in the mathematics, you start with a definition right now, and there's no introduction, no motivation behind this. And in this genetic approach, what's different is that you take the viewer on a journey. You discover with him this special field. And we are doing this right now. So I will give you a short, let's say, educational video, or better to say a sketch. And let's start with this equation. As you know, is that x squared equal -1 isn't solvable normally in the real numbers. In the school, you would say, okay, there's no solution for this equation. But yeah, as you can remember in school, normally when there was an equation which you couldn't solve, you invent new numbers. You have done this in the elementary levels of the school. For example, you have invented negative numbers to solve so you can subtract numbers anyway. So let's invent a number. Let's say, okay, there's a solution for this equation. Let's call him I for an imaginary number. It's a good name for it, which has this property that I squared equals -1. But now we have no clue what is I. We just invented, we say, okay, there's a solution, but we have no feeling for it. And what comes handy is, okay, to see how could a mathematician have really discovered what is I. And to start with a way is to say, okay, it's about multiplication, it's about -1. Let's see what actually happens when you multiply a number with -1. You see, if you start with 1, it gets mapped to -1, 2 is mapped to -2, and -1 to 1, and -2 to 2. So multiplying a number with -1 is like a rotation with 180 degrees. And now there's a trick. We already had said that I squared is -1. So when we implement this here, we see, okay, multiplying a number with this imaginary number, we want to look what it is, 2 times is a rotation of 180 degrees. And now we want to ask ourselves, okay, what then is multiplying a number with I? So we need an operation. When we apply this operation 2 times, is a rotation of 180 degrees. So we have to split this operation in 2. And the obvious answer is, okay, this new operation is a 90-degree rotation. And thus answers also the question, what is I? Because I is nothing else than I multiplied with 1. So it's 1 rotated by 90 degrees. And when you have a look at this image and you rotate 1 with 90 degrees, you can see here's I. It's a little sketch. In an educational video, we would have talked a little bit more. I sketched it down, but you can see the difference in those 2 approaches. On the one hand, you get the knowledge, which was already invented. And in the other way, I took you to a journey and you discovered with me what actually is I, and you have a deeper understanding of mathematics. That's our basic approach, and we have written a textbook before, so we already noticed that there are many students happy with it. And as you can see, it's a perfect approach for educational videos. What I have done could be done in a screencast very well. You have seen a screencast here, so I could have made a screencast and put it on YouTube afterwards. So we have here an approach to solve this problem to help students. And now comes to the next part, what we can do with it. Okay, normally, now we can start, okay, we have an idea what to do, and we create videos. But in the end, it will take a lot of time. I guess in mathematics, when you have a course, in the end, you need to create like 500 videos just for one semester to have a good basic coverage of all issues in this field. So it will take you a lot of time when we would want to create all those videos by ourselves. So we made a step backwards and see, okay, there are a lot of people outside who already created videos. And let's use them. Let's work together with content creators, most of them on YouTube. Let's share our knowledge. Let's educate them how to educate students so that they can produce videos as well. And that's what we started roughly 1 year ago. It started with a YouTuber channel. It's called MJ Education. Here you can see her producing a video, and we got to know because she wrote a comment below of one of our videos. And then because YouTube offers a kind of sending a message to another person, we wrote her, and then we started collaborating. This is 1 year ago. And as you can see here, MJ Education already had started to create her own community as well. So she has a little group of roughly 10 students now working together to create free educational videos. Here you can see her producing one video, and also you can see which techniques are also used. And there's another YouTuber we are working with. His channel is called Quadramatic. You can see he is using a light board, which he has built by his own, and he has created 200 videos about the first semester. And we are also working together. We talk together how to communicate mathematical concepts, and we create those videos together. So, to make a short conclusion, we have started 1 year ago. Now we are working together with 4 different YouTube channels, besides our own here at the university. There are in total 250 videos created. It's much more than we could have done in this year by ourselves. That's one of the important parts. All of our videos are licensed under a free license. We are using CC BY and CC BY SA. That's really important because when you want to work together with someone else, those licenses, they are a good fundament, because then everybody knows, okay, because each video is under a free license, it will be free also in the future. And thus they are motivating to work voluntarily, because they know, okay, what they are doing will help students, and their videos will always be free and freely available. And also those licenses, because the videos are under those licenses, working together is quite easy. We do not have to have a special agreement to put their videos on our site. Those licenses already allow us to use them on our sites, in our Moodle platforms, and so on. And in total, we have reached more than 300,000, or we had more than 300,000 views. That's much more than we could have reached just here at our university. So it's also reaching out, and you have to remember it's just a starting point. We are just building this community right now. What I really want to share is our experiences, what we have seen, what is important to build a community. And I want to make a conclusion of 2 main points, what we have learned so far. The first one, which is really important, is for you to have a vision, to have a vision, to go out with a vision. And there's a good phrase to say, to start with why. You have noticed also in this presentation, I haven't started with the techniques I am using. I haven't started with the data about our community. I have started with our vision, because that's important. And this is also important to find someone who is willing to work with you together. When you have a look, when you have a search with Start With Why on YouTube, you will get good presentation by Simon Simek whom I really like on YouTube, and you can get more information about this and what's behind. And as you may know from the self-determination theory by Deci and Wine, there are three basic needs which are important, or which when you fulfill it, normally you will have a high motivation. Those three basic needs are competence, or that you can feel competent, autonomy, and relatedness, to work together in a group. Those are not only important in a learning setup to motivate students, but especially when you want to build a community. So as you can see, working together in a community, it's really important when you have the third point, to work together. It's important to know each other, to telephone instead of writing an email, to meet each other. So we went to all those other cities to meet the other YouTube content creators, and in order to work with them together. Also to make a workshop, for example, once a year, so you can all meet and, for example, create new videos. Also to give them, to give them freedom to do their own choices, and to give them also important jobs so they can feel competent. And when you have those 3 points in your mind, you will be able to build a good community. Okay, that's in total. Those 2 points are the most important ones. Then we notice some, let's say, side steps. For example, it's also hard to keep track of your relationship management. But when you have those 2 points in your mind, you will be able to find someone who is willing to work together with you and to motivate them. And as I have shown you before, 2 slides before, together you can do much more than, as I have shown here. Together you can do much more as you can do by yourself. Okay, that's my presentation so far. So I would change back to the chat.
Thank you, Stephan.
Any questions there?
Yes, I was writing a couple of questions here. I think it's very interesting. Thank you.
Okay, the first question is about whether we pay the YouTubers. No, we don't. It's just voluntarily. And also, we have made the impression that most YouTubers aren't doing their videos for earning money. Especially, you can have a look at their video channels. I guess the big video channels, they're doing so with earning money, and for them it's important to earn money with them. But when you have a look and have a feeling that they are doing this in their free time, money isn't important for them. What's important is, for example, helping others. It's important to learn something new, to also get tips how to do a video. Most of them aren't professionals, so you can help them as well. And so it's a kind of, so you can help them, and then they create the videos you can also use as well. You have to know that mostly they will publish the videos they've created on their channel, so they are really, really highly motivated to do more. About the quality of the videos, you have seen 2 screenshots. I will just show you or share to you some links to the channel so you can see by yourself about the quality. Normally, over the time, they will the quality will increase, and because also you can help them how to do a good video, and also you will help them how to explain and to explain better. So yeah, that's the quality of the videos. The part we at the university, we step in and help them to achieve a high quality. So in my case, yeah, I'm happy with the quality they are achieving right now. Yeah, and Armin is asking how to find people for the video community. There are many ways to do so. In this case, the good thing is that there are a lot of YouTube content creators online. So you have a look who is creating educational videos, and you already can see how they are doing so. And then you can use the comment feature of YouTube to write them. And that's how we find our community. And I guess over the time, when you notice in the community that there's a network for educational videos, I have the feeling that people will come to you and you do not have to search for them. That's so far. Let's have a look at YouTube. There are no questions so far. Good. So,
good. Thank you very much, Stephan. Wow. Very interesting presentation. So let's move to the last one, which is Susanne Rosthøj, who is actually standing right beside me here with her own computer. And she will tell about her course where she used many screencast videos. Please go on.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good. Just have to share my screen. So it should come up soon. Yeah, but I will be talking about my work with screencast videos in combination with automated feedback and how I have experienced that improves the student skills. I teach biostatistics. I'm an associate professor in biostatistics at University of Copenhagen. Okay, so first I'll say a few words about the motivation, why I started using videos in my teaching. And I will next say a few words about how I use these videos in combination with the specific training activities to support the student preparation. And I'll give a few examples of the videos I produced and comment on some of my own and my own experience using the videos and what the students think of this way of teaching based on videos. So as I said, I give courses in biostatistics. The level is medical students at the that's the master level, but I also teach medical PhD students. And the contents of the course is widely regression models, so they need to learn statistical methods. But what is also important is that they need to learn to perform analysis on their own. So they need to learn how to, not just the theory, but also how to analyze the data using a statistical program. And here they are taught either to use SAS or R, which are statistical software languages where they actually have to learn how to program. So it's not just point and click as many other programs. And typically our teaching has been, or often still is, in a format where we half the time give lectures. So that would be like maybe 3 hours in a row of lectures. And then we have smaller classroom sessions where the students are split in smaller groups, and they have to do some exercises using a computer. So part of the course, or quite a big part of the courses, is that they should learn how to program in the statistical software. And we can see that we have two groups of students. We have one group that we could say are at advanced users, so they quickly learn about the methods, they understand the theory, and learn how to use it using the program. And this group of students basically think we can teach them in a good way or a bad way, and they will still become advanced users because they know how to work on their own and spend a lot of time preparing for the course. Then we have another group of students that find the methodology, statistics, difficult. They find the software, the programming extremely difficult. And what happens is, as the course runs for maybe 10 weeks, they quickly get trapped in a downward spiral. And as we put more and more theory and more technical details with the software on, they kind of lose, they get difficulties. And the question is, or the problem is, that this latter group of students, they don't prepare enough, or they don't prepare well enough. And what some studies have suggested, at least in Denmark, is that students, they could increase the number of hours spent on preparation and the quality of their preparation. So what we thought is that we could facilitate the student preparation by being very specific about how we expect them to prepare and how we expect them to work with the contents of the course. And here I've been working with, in a way to do that is to produce some videos they had to watch. And besides the videos, I give them what I call training activities. So that's some activities where they should work on some exercises on their own. And an important part is also that when they work with the videos and activities at home, they need feedback. And I have been working quite a lot with automated online feedback here. So the way I kind of structure the preparation for the students is that before each session, which is once a week, I give them a kind of a list or a set of training activities they have to go through. And that includes watching some videos. And it, of course, also includes reading, telling them what to read. If they have questions, we have a discussion forum where they can post their questions. And then they have to do a lot of small exercises. So they work on their own at home in front of the computer. And every time they finished one of the tasks, one of the activities, they have to do a quiz where I give them immediate online feedback, telling them whether they were right or wrong in what they did. I used two kinds of videos. I have videos to support their reading. So that would be small lectures. A small lecture like I give now. And I either produce them myself, I try to keep it short. And here I just do a PowerPoint with Speak, so that could be Camtasia, as Henrik also mentioned. And then I actually also spend some time trying to find some videos online that support what they have to read. And it is actually possible to find quite a lot on YouTube or homepages where people produce very professional videos. But actually my experience is that finding these videos often takes longer time than just producing the videos yourself. So often I tend to just do them myself because it takes a lot of time to find them. But most of my videos are actually videos to support the training or their work with the computer and the exercises on their own hand. So that is what we term instruction videos. And here I have two kind of videos. So that's the videos where I give instructions in how to use the software program. So here I would simply record my screen, telling what to do. And then I have another kind of videos, that's the so-called pencasts. So that's where I have kind of write on a piece of paper, capturing the sound and some text. And that's typically I would produce them on an iPad. And the videos I produce, I don't spend a lot of time producing these videos, because if I had to do that, I wouldn't. It would take a very long time. So instead, I do it kind of quick and dirty. I don't edit my videos afterwards. So I'll give a few examples of how these videos are. And if we start with the first one, Henrik can copy in the link. So you could have an example of an instruction video. So please spend like no more than 1 minute on this video. Yeah, I think that's enough. So please turn off the video again. So this video was an example of how to use the program R for doing, so in this video I showed them how to make a plot. So it's one of the very first videos where they have to start playing around with the program. So I demonstrate how to use the different windows in the program, how to interact with the program. And having done that, I give them, or after they have seen the video, they have to do solve some problem using this program. So they have to kind of work out on their own afterwards. Then when they use the program, they get some output. And often we also need to tell them how to interpret the output. And here I also produce some videos where I kind of explain how to interpret the results. And here I show a screencast of a screen dump of a video. And I think I'm not gonna show you the video really, but it was produced on an iPad with the program Explain Everything, where you can see I have a pointer that I can move around, and there's a drawing here, so I simply just use my fingers to put in some numbers, explain how to use the numbers. So it's very simple, just the drawing using a finger. It's not very pretty, it's not a video that I'm very proud of sharing, but I show this to illustrate that these videos can be made very quick if you are not too, if you don't have too high ambitions on the quality of the video. So they're given videos like that, and then they have to do reproduce some results or find some new results, do some analysis. And afterwards, every time they completed one of these activities, they are requested to fill in a quiz. And having filled in the quiz, they get automatically get feedback. And here I typically use the fill in the blank questions, or it could just be a multiple choice question. So basically, they just have to submit their result, and they're told immediately whether they are right or wrong. But very importantly, I also give them detailed written feedback. So when they have responded, they get a link to a page where I kind of explain in details what they should have done and what is how to find the right result. Yes. So, so what is my experience using videos as a basis for training activities in my teaching? Is that so what I have experienced is that the students' performance is increased. And I experienced that in the teaching sessions, first of all, because the students, when they're forced to go through these activities at home, they show up with the same knowledge. In class, we spent less time on technical details because a lot of the stuff I present in the videos was something that I would previously show them in class. So in that way, we save a lot of time, which leaves more time for like more general discussions. So we don't focus so much on a lot of these technical issues that are when we have to do analysis using a statistical program. And I could also see a change from before I started this way of teaching in the written reports. So what do students think of this way of being taught? Well, I have asked them, first of all, what do you think about these videos that are very unprofessional? I have no manuscript. I have, it's quick and dirty. And actually, most of the students have no problems that the videos are unprofessional. And actually, they kind of tend to like them because they find them more personal than if it was fully professionally produced. And then I have like almost all the students find the training activities necessary to learn methods and software. But of course, to give them these training activities, I need to use the videos because that's the way they are introduced to how to do the analysis in the statistical program. But they're very happy with these training activities. Then there was the other kind of videos. So that's the one that I use as small lectures. And if I ask them whether they would prefer to prepare for class using videos only, meaning that we could, that they shouldn't read, like half of them prefer actually to use videos only, whereas almost the other half, they prefer a mix of reading and videos, and the remaining so that will be 6% would prefer just to read to prepare for class. And at the same time, it's not like they want the whole teaching sessions, the lectures to be replaced by videos. Because if we ask them if all lectures were replaced by videos, would you expect to learn more or to learn the same or learn less? Most of them, namely 76%, expect to learn less if we didn't meet in class and discuss or give lectures and discuss the topics. And then, of course, another one is that, as Henrik also mentioned, that the feedback is important. So it's very important when they work with the videos and the activities at home that they can do the quizzes to see whether they understood the topics right, that they get the detailed explanatory solution, but also that they have the possibility of asking questions if they get stuck. Yeah, so that was about it. I was going to say, so I will unshare my screen.
Thank you very much, Susanne. Are there any questions to Susanne on her presentation? I was just wondering in the end, although you say some students say they would learn less, could you change totally to a flipped classroom teaching because you produce all these videos?
First of all, I don't have enough videos for all of that, and that would be, I think it would be a lot of work, and it would be many hours of videos they would have to watch. And I think I think the personal contact with the teacher is, they really like that. So, and I think some of our courses, actually students say that one of the good thing about it is that we give lectures and we have class activities. So it's not like they prefer everything to be online. It's my experience.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Susanne. Thank you, Stephan, for your very good presentations. I think also the time is up because time is 4. Let me just show you just a moment. The program for next week, because you are so lucky that you can come back and see more of it. Next week, we will have 3 other people presenting, Jelka Kröse, Thomas Felix Ginn, and Marjolaine Haxman. And 2 of them will be on something much more advanced than this. This is augmented reality and virtual reality. And then another one, which is also very interesting, interactive videos enriched with collaborative features. So please join again next week at 3 o'clock if you want to hear some more about this. So thank you very much, and continue as Armin said here. I'll just put again the link here. If you have some comments for this lecture, for this session here, or yeah, whatever suggestions and comments to the presenters, please give them in that Slack forum here, and we will stay tuned, I think, for some minutes at least and see it. Thank you very much.